What a pleasure. I really want to thank Kim Churches, where are you, Kim, over here, who is the CEO of American Association of University Women, better known as AAUW. I want to thank Bill Hart, who's ED of Mass Community Colleges, Ellen Kennedy, where are you, Ellen? Give a little wave. And President of Berkshire Community College, and Nina Kimball, who was standing over there, you are, Nina, who is from the Mass Commission on the Status of Women. I want to thank you all for being here for our launch. This is really, really exciting work. And I have to give a special shout out to my dear friend, Senate President Chandler. I really appreciate your joining us this morning. We know that this speaker... It's great to have a woman.
And it's great to have a woman as treasurer.
Speaker Pro Tem Haddad is on the way. As you can imagine, driving up from Somerset sometimes and on icy roads is a challenge, and I am thrilled to have all of the elected leaders who are here with us. This initiative today builds off of the groundbreaking work, the wage negotiation workshops launched by my dear friend, Mayor Marty Walsh, and his team, including Megan Costello, who I mentioned earlier, and we're thrilled to have her here. We're honored to support his work in the greater Boston area with a plan to reach women statewide. And when Marty and I first spoke about wage inequality and the challenges for women, after I was sworn in, he became my honorary co-chair in so much of these efforts. He is certainly one of the good guys. I also want to give a special thank you to former Lieutenant Governor Evelyn Murphy, who is here in spirit. Her leadership and her guidance on developing this new initiative was truly a pioneering experience on wage equality and salary negotiations, and she has never veered off track. On the day I was sworn in, I created the Office of Economic Empowerment, the first of its kind in the country. I tasked it with addressing wage equality, increasing access to financial education, improving college affordability, and investing in STEM careers and education. For the last 3 years, we have taken significant steps in changing the paradigm of wage equality. After I had established the Treasurer's Advisory Committee on Wage Equality, we gathered data from across the state and designed a toolkit which can be found on our website, equalpayma.com. equalpayma.com. I always let people open up their phones and pull it up as soon as I say that, because it's so important. It is a multimedia platform where women can calculate their wage gaps, employees can anonymously email employers about wage discrepancies, and companies can navigate the social and business, and I underline business, imperatives of equal pay in the workplace. In 2016, I started the Women's Economic Empowerment Series, which provides all women with access to money management, access to free wage negotiation, and retirement and investment strategies. And this program has been extraordinarily successful. So today, I am thrilled to announce our newest wage equality initiative, Just Ask. Salary negotiation workshops. They will be run in partnership with my office, Mass Community Colleges, American Association of University Women, and the Commission on the Status of Women. What a group. I'm so excited about Just Ask for so many reasons. One of them being that we are the first state in the country to implement these cutting-edge workshops empowering all women across the state with the skills they need to address wage equality head-on. other HR person here who knows how important it is a statewide salary negotiation initiative designed to serve hundreds of thousands of working women across Massachusetts with salary negotiation workshops. The Commission on the Status of Women will identify facilitators for the workshops through their regional commissions, and the AAUW will train those facilitators. The community colleges will host these workshops on campuses across the state. While the program alone will not close the wage gap, it is a very important piece of the multi-pronged solution to eliminate the wage gap and address decades, and I mean decades, of systematic disadvantage most women face in the workplace. To women across Massachusetts hoping for a salary increase and for employers seeking guidance on wage equality, just ask. So I'm looking forward to watching the success of this bold new initiative across the Commonwealth, and I would now like to introduce, welcoming more people by the way, I'd like to introduce Kim Churches, CEO of the American Association of University Women.
Good morning. Well, we at AAUW have been advancing equity for women and girls since 1881 through research, the right policies and advocacy work, programs like you've heard about today, and philanthropy. And we started our work on equal pay early on in our history. Why? Because the pay gap is math, not myth. I'm honored to be here today with Treasurer Goldberg to announce this launch of an opportunity for women to simply chip away at their own personal pay gap. And while you can't completely negotiate your way around discrimination in the workplace, by learning how to expertly negotiate their pay and benefits, women can begin to reach equal pay for equal work. Very close to where we are today, your state legislature also passed one of the nation's strongest equal pay laws in the country, and I applaud the Commonwealth for its continuing. Boston may be known as the birthplace of the American Revolution, and I can say that coming from the city to the south, Washington, D.C., but it also makes sense that Boston became the birthplace of AAUW Work Smart salary negotiation programs. And thanks, as Treasurer Goldberg said, to a terrific collaboration with Mayor Marty Walsh, we together launched free citywide salary negotiation workshops, and today over 5,000 women have been trained, and the city intends to train 85,000 over a 5-year period. Now, through this new and important partnership with Treasurer Goldberg, women living everywhere in the Commonwealth will have the opportunity to attend a training and learn these valuable skills for their futures. And I want to hear your success stories. We're already hearing stories of women on salaries earning 20%, 40%, 60% more after they just ask. And for our hourly wage earners, sometimes $2 more an hour, $5 more an hour, $7 more an hour. How important and impactful this is for our families in Massachusetts and beyond. When women enter the workforce from the start, they experience a gender pay gap. And in our AAUW research on recent graduates, we control for factors such as major, occupation, job title, hours worked, etc. But guess what? Even still, the pay gap is present from day one for women in the workplace. I know most of you know that women working full-time in the U.S. were paid just 80% of what men were paid, 80%. And for women of color, it's even worse. Here in Massachusetts, it's a slightly better story. Women earn on average 82 cents on the dollar to their male counterparts. But I don't know about you, I really doubt any of our families here want to see 18 cents less for every dollar earned. Paying women equally is good for families, it's good for our economy, and it's good for business and the bottom line. Through programs like this and the collaboration with Treasurer Goldberg in Massachusetts, we're fighting to close that gap one workshop at a time. Thank you so much, and let's get going.
Terrific. terrific partnership, and even in Massachusetts, African American women are paid 61 cents on the dollar, Latina women 50, which makes it even more challenging. And we're going to change that, one woman at a time, together. And so now it is an absolute great pleasure to introduce the Senate President, Harriet Chandler. Please come.
Thank you, Deb, for championing this cause. This sounds very parochial to say this, but quite frankly, I think it takes a woman to have thought up. This is just the latest in her series of wonderful, wonderful ideas that help women to make up for the difference, the inequality that we've known so long. I bet there's not a woman in this audience who has not gone through some sort of pay inequality. Am I right? Yes. I'm sure it's true. Actually, in this room is a woman who I worked with for the first time. I got a job, a professional job. And this is sort of rounding the circle for me. But it is time now for women to make up for that lost time. Because Treasurer Goldberg spoke about what it means for a family, what it means for a woman. But take that inequality to the next step. It means something also for your pension, for your, when you get further and further and further behind. The face of poverty is female. And why is it female? Because we've earned less all these years. So we deserve the same, sometimes we even deserve more. Treasurer Goldberg and I advocated for equal pay legislation, which passed last summer and will come into effect this summer. No longer can anyone ask your past history of salaries. Yes. That makes a huge difference, because you are stuck if you are asked, and you can't get to the next level if you're stuck in that last level. But we now need to do more, and this Just Ask is an opportunity. It's one solution to reach wage equality, and I can't say enough about the creativity of doing this. We don't know how to discuss wages. We're a little embarrassed, we're uncomfortable, and we've always been taught, or at least my generation's always been taught, you don't talk about salaries. Well, that's over and that's done with. Salaries negotiations now has to be something that's open, transparent, and we need to learn from each other. And this approach is remarkable. College and working women in Worcester will be able to take advantage of this free program and create positive changes for themselves, for their families, and the Worcester and Central Mass economy. It will make a difference. We will see that difference ourselves. I can only say this is a great initiative. Can't thank you enough, Treasurer Goldberg, for this. I'm very happy to stand here to support this and to support you. Women know how to fight, so let's go on and let's fight for our family.
I'd also like to recognize the other legislators who have joined us today, both men and women, because certainly the good guys are helping us along this path. So I'd like to recognize Senator Lovely. I'd like to recognize Representative Donato, Representative Peake, Representative Garbali, Representative Vincent, and Senator L'Italian. Thank you all for being here. And now I would like to introduce President Ellen Kennedy, who is representing the community colleges. Oh, and Representative Ferrante. Just stepped in. Good timing. Excellent. President Kennedy.
Thank you, Treasurer.
That sounds good, President.
What an honor to be here. What an honor to be here before you this morning, and thank you so much Treasurer Goldberg, for the leadership you've shown. I know you've impressed the heck out of state treasurers across the country with the innovative programs that you've introduced in Massachusetts and the mission and goals that you've set for what happens here. And we're really impressed and delighted to be able to work with you on this particular initiative. I think I speak as Senate President Chandler mentioned that probably every woman in this room, and myself included, in every single salary negotiation I've ever done, I've learned afterward I've left money on the table. And I know that it is part of our DNA, and it is a piece that we need help to overcome. And so I will be participating in the Just Ask so that I'm prepared for the next opportunity to negotiate for myself. There are 15 community colleges across the Commonwealth, and we are located in gateway cities and communities that each of you live and work and recreate in. And we are excited and thrilled and honored to be part of this particular initiative. We have 100,000 students in our credit-bearing programs at the community colleges. We represent a little over half of all individuals enrolled in public higher education. 60% or more actually are women who are enrolled in our particular institutions. Many are single moms having a restart, or starting their lives and trying to provide for their families. The other thing is we have another 100,000 individuals who are involved in our non-credit and workforce development programs, and those individuals will also be personally reached out to and hopefully will participate in this program. Kim Churches, we are delighted to be participating with you and your organization and supporting all of your efforts and hopefully providing you some volunteers and individuals that will be participating in that program to introduce this. The research shows that when you take care of moms, you take care of families, you change the trajectory of families. And we know that this particular initiative will mean so much. It will improve not only pensions, as was identified, but also the tax revenue for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Right. So this is one of those investments that will actually bring money back and not only improve the quality of life for families, but will improve the quality of life for all of us in the Commonwealth. The final thing that I would say is community colleges are really the community's living rooms. We're the metaphorical kitchen table where people come together, are comfortable, they can have these kinds of conversations, they're comfortable arriving on our campuses and participating and feeling a part of something. So we feel very strongly that we will be a magnet to attract these groups of 30 people at a time to come in, work with each other. They'll develop new relationships and be able to support each other beyond the moment of this piece. And education just changes lives no matter what kind of education it is. So thank you so much, so very much for including all 15 community colleges. We're delighted. Thank you.
I want to recognize Representative Peisch, who arrived, and thank you for being here, Representative. So, Nina Kimball, Mass Commission on the Status of Women, tremendous partner. Please join us up here and share with us.
Well, thank you, Treasurer Goldberg. On behalf of the Mass Commission on the Status of Women, we are just thrilled to be able to collaborate with the Treasurer's Office, with AAUW, with the community colleges and other partners to roll out this really exciting program, Just Ask. This is one more indication of how Massachusetts has been a leader on civil rights and equal rights for women. It was in 1945 when Massachusetts was the first state in the country during World War II to pass an equal pay law to provide equal pay for comparable work. And a lot of that was because of the women who were going into the workforce during World War II and then wanting to make sure that when they left, when the war was over, they would still get paid equally for their wages. And here we are all these years ago. We led here in the Commonwealth with the passage of that equal pay law in 2016, which was the most comprehensive in the country. The coalition through Jill Ashton, our executive director who led the Equal Pay Coalition, really helped and collaborate with so many people here and the Treasurer to make that a reality. And in that, we were the first state to prohibit the use of salary history in the hiring process. And now states and Puerto Rico and municipalities across the country are bringing that. But here we are again with this program leading, the country with something like this. So the Commission is excited to collaborate. We will be doing that through the statewide commission, which is 19 commissioners, and our regional commissions. We right now have 8 regional commissions. We're hoping soon to have 3 more regional commissions, which will then cover the entire state. And we will be giving our commissioners the opportunity to become facilitators, to be trained as facilitators the way Megan Costello is doing in Boston, and then go and do workshops. And then through our regional commissions, we have partnerships, throughout the state. We'll be able to attract people through our ties to the communities to come to these workshops and be able to roll them out statewide. So for all of these reasons, we're excited about this opportunity and happy to go forward with this. Thank you so much.
So, now you have it. What are we going to tell everybody? To just ask. And empowering people, empowering women to empower themselves, which will empower their families. You've heard it said over and over, this is an economic imperative. This benefits everyone. It benefits families, it benefits businesses, it benefits the state. It's a win-win-win. So now we're ready to launch, ready to work with our friends, all of the people who you've heard from here today and others. I've committed to helping launch this nationally once it is piloted out and effective here, and that will make a difference in our entire country. Because of all of you and your commitment to this issue, we will change lives forever. And thank you all for being here.